Hello, everybody. Mike Welsch coming to you with the first of our several DRF video looks into this year's Belmont Stakes. I'm standing today in front of the barn, appropriately enough, of trainer Todd Pletcher, who is the major focus of a very, very busy morning here at Belmont Park, training morning on all venues, main track, training track, and the turf course following a couple of days of rain. Todd was actually going to work his two Belmont contenders on Friday. That was the schedule, Spin-Off and Intrepid Heart, but because of the track conditions, he postponed and waited and got a pristine, perfect track today after the renovation break. Spin-Off was the first of the pair to go, had Javier Castellano aboard today. Javier will be Spin-Off's rider in the Belmont. Went in company with Principal, a horse, lightly raced 3-year-old, just broke his maiden last time out. And they were a kind of hard held early, 36-2 for the opening 3/8. Spin-Off had a fast work last week, shaded a minute for 5 furlongs, and I think purposely anchored today not to go so fast. They finished the distance in 1:02 and 1, both finishing well. Spin-Off had his head in front at the wire and was going very easily at the end, and then asserted his superiority over his kind of lesser experienced and right now lesser mate. Went out 6 furlongs, a couple of lengths clear in 14-3, and then continued out very willingly. You like to see this kind of gallop out before a grueling race like the Belmont. Went out 7/8, 5 in front, and 127, and actually pulled up a full mile in 1:41. And one. Spin-Off seems to be doing very well coming out of what was a disappointing effort, to say the least, in the Kentucky Derby, but over a wet racetrack he might not have really relished. So I think we're going to see an improved effort from Spin-Off on Belmont Day. Intrepid Heart was next, and like last week he had blinkers on. Todd is adding blinkers to his equipment for the Belmont Stakes. He also had Johnny V on once again, and Outshine as a workmate once again. And the pair went a little quicker than Spin-Off, opening 3/8 and 36, finished 5 furlongs in a minute and 4/5. Intrepid Heart sticking his head in front at the end under a little bit of urging from Johnny V at the end. And then he actually ran away from Outshine today. The gallop out last week, both horses galloped out well in company. Outshine kind of gave up a little bit today, and Intrepid Heart pulled away 6 furlongs, 13 and 1, 7/8 in 1:26. Hard to say just from my point of view whether the blinkers have made that big a difference, but they are on there. He has had a couple of good works with some good gallop outs coming off a somewhat disappointing effort of his own in his previous start. And you got to look for Intrepid Heart also to move forward. He is by Tappet, so with that breeding you expect that he will get the 1.5 miles without much problem. The other worker this morning was Tax. Tax had his last work on the training track today, came over to the main track. Had a workmate blur the lines, broke off 6 or 7 behind, but made up most of that ground in the first 1/8 of a mile. Was only a half length or so back turning for home, but kind of struggled a little bit to assert his superiority over a lesser mate through the final quarter mile. He finally did edge clear near the wire, but was under some pressure to do so. Finished a half mile in 48 and 4. Galloped out okay, I guess, 5/8, 101 and 1, 6 furlongs and 14 and 3, but not what I expected to see from him. I thought he'd show a little bit more today after that maintenance move last week. So a little bit of a disappointing work this morning from Tax. Master Fencer, who had that eventful work, to say the least, earlier in the week. Got back to the track yesterday, merely jogged both on the training track and main track. Today went only to the training track. Went around a couple of times. I was not there. I was timing horses on the main track. My colleague, Dave Grenning, was there to watch Master Fencer and called what he did this morning lackluster at best. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on him after what happened the other day. He is scheduled to work here on Wednesday. And Tacitus was out on the main track this morning for just a very, very easy gallop. I've seen better energy in him in the morning than this morning, but he is scheduled to work tomorrow, so maybe purposely so, just taking it easy today, and looking forward to another big move from Tacitus, who looked terrific here working last week. That's it for what's on the grounds now. Sir Winston worked yesterday. The rest of the potential Belmont contenders will be shipping in a couple of days. We won't get our first look at War of Will until early next week, Everfast as well. So we'll continue to keep an eye out here for you as we get closer and closer to Belmont 2019, and we will be back with another video report tomorrow. focusing in on Tacitus's work and maybe Master Fencer's activity here at DRF.com.